I'm doing a tag video today, the Library Lovers book tag. Hi, my name is Jeanette, and I want to thank you for joining me on the channel Jane Reads. So today I'm going to do the Library Lovers book tag. I was tagged to do this video by Tammy from the Protagonist Pub, and I was kind of excited when she tagged me to do it because I have found a new love for the library, and we'll talk about that as we get in. So all the questions will be in the description below, along with Tammy's video. I am not sure who the original creator of this tag is. I don't know if even Tammy mentioned in her video and I've just forgotten, or maybe she didn't mention it. I don't know. If I can find that, I will link that in the description as well. Okay, so there are 7 questions on this tag. So let's just jump right into it. Question number 1 is, how often do you visit your local library? Well, before February, March of this year, I would have said not very often at all. I probably could have counted on one hand how many times I'd been in the local library in the last 20 years. Because I remember when I first moved to town, I remember going to the library, getting a library card, and then I don't remember visiting after that really very often at all. Kind of going in, maybe renewing my card because it has to be renewed every 2 years. So maybe that's more than one hand. However, my library card was out of date when I went and renewed it. So yeah, I got my Kindle, and my Kindle does not work. I'm in Canada and the library system does not work with Kindle. And it was kind of before ebooks were really a thing anyways. So I got a Kindle, and then the Nook came in, and then that's kind of what the library uses in Canada is with the Nook. I don't know anymore, actually, if it's even. I'm not really sure, because I got a Kindle, and I stayed with Kindle. I never changed. So I didn't visit the library often. However, in the last few years, I have really fell in love with reading physical books. Now, I had physical books before. It's not that I didn't have them. I just was primarily reading on my Kindle. But I've really fallen in love with physical books. And I loved my original Kindle. I still have my original Kindle. I don't think it works. It was kind of dying. But I loved it. So I got a new Kindle 2021, 2022, I don't remember. And I like it, but I don't love it the same. I don't know. It doesn't hold the same for me as my original Kindle. But I mean, I still enjoy reading on it. I just really enjoy reading on a physical book. And I think for me, the reason I enjoy physical reading so much more is the visual progress that I can see. So you see your bookmark move from here to here to here to here. Like, you're noticing your progress through the book, right? And that just makes me so happy to see that happen. And yes, you get that on the Kindle with, you're from 10% to 25% to 40%. Yes, you get it. It's just not the same. So my new favorite way to read is if I have a book on my Kindle, is to get the physical book from the library. And so that is why I've been going to the library a lot more often. Or, recently when did I do that vlog? I did a vlog of trying new favorite authors, maybe April or March's vlog, and where I went to the library and picked up books. And those are books I didn't own at all. Or at least a couple of them are books I didn't own at all. And so that's another way to get them, right? I was thinking there was another question that addressed this, but I don't see it. So we're just going to talk about it now. So really, I renewed my library card, I want to say early last year. Maybe even 22, but I think it was in 2023. Because I wanted audiobooks. And so I'd heard a lot about Hoopla, so I wanted to get Hoopla and Libby and stuff. Our library does not have Hoopla, and so I couldn't get them through that, but it does have Libby, so I was able to get audiobooks that way, get some ebooks that way as well. This year, I discovered that our library system, now we have a great library system because we have our city library, but then we also have access to all the libraries in our county. And there is one particular area in our county which is kind of more Amish Mennonite, so they have a lot of Christian fiction at their library. So one day, that is the library I went to when in that new authors video, because they have a huge selection. Now we can get, if I request a book to pick up at my local library, I can have it brought in from any of the libraries in our county to pick up. So that's awesome. However, I really wanted to check out that library in person, so we went and checked it out. And then since then, I've had books picked up at my local library from those libraries. And then I discovered that our library system also has, we can get a library card from our neighboring counties. Not the cities, just like the small towns. There is a small town, which is in the next community where a set of friends live. So it's not very far away from us, but it's in another county, and their library has Hoopla. So we went, and I think we saw our friends that day, or we were driving through, I don't know. And so we stopped in the library, and I got a library card from there as well. So now I have Hoopla. So I have Hoopla and Libby all through like kind of my library system with a connection with that library system. I was so excited when I found that out, because it just gives me access to that many more books. Who doesn't want that? So yes. And I am constantly looking at the library's website and Libby and Hoopla and see like, can I get, because I love to have multiple options on how to read a book. I will listen to a book, I'll read it on my Kindle, and I'll read a physical copy. That would be my primary for one book, to have all three options available, because then I can read it physically, like just sitting in the living room, for example. But then I could read it on the Libby app on my phone while I'm in bed. Or I can listen to it when I'm like driving, or just have time to listen. So that's like my favorite. If I could get all three versions, that would be awesome. But I don't want to pay for all three versions. So yeah. So usually I only have two options though. I don't normally get all three, but yeah. So kind of as I'm discovering and finding the joy in that, I'm visiting the library much more often than I did before. Okay, that's a long answer for question number 1. Let's move on to question number 2. Are you the type of person who checks out more books than you know you can read, or are you someone who only checks out the exact amount of books you intend on reading before they are due? Do you have a guess? I am a person who only checks out the books I plan on reading. If I have a book checked out and I don't get to read it, I'd be so like, no, that would bother me so much. I just couldn't. Because I'm like, okay, I checked this out, I have to read it. Because I'm taking it from somebody else. Yeah, that's not really the only reason, but I've checked it out because I'm interested in it, which means I want to read it. Okay, number 3. How old were you when you got your first library card? I do not know. I know that we visited the library as kids. I want to say I remember walking to it, but now I'm like, I don't know if I did. Because we lived on a farm, and I don't know if our little community had a library or if we had to go into the next town. I don't remember. But I've had a library card for as long as I can remember. So no, I don't know how old I was. But I've always loved libraries. And I have very vivid memories of, kind of in college, right? Like this kind of the typical, you go to the library and study group, whatever. And so I spent a lot of time at the library in college. And I also worked at the library. Not in the fun aspect. I was part of the janitorial staff. Not the fun aspect of the library at all. But I worked in the library. But so I remember spending a lot of time in that library. Then when I got my first apartment, there was a beautiful library in that town. And me and my roommate would go to the library to just sit and read in the library. It was beautiful. And the library in town here, not the same. I mean, it has a historic element, but it's not in a great location. I don't feel like it's in a great location. It's hard to get to parking wise. Like, it does not have very much parking, and majority of the parking around it is you have to pay to park. And so I'm like, yeah. So I do remember when I first came to town getting a library card, but then but I've renewed it. Okay, question number 4 is, do you go to your library looking for a particular book, or do you check out anything that piques your interest? Well, as I've said, I'm usually looking for a particular book. Majority of the time, I've already put that book on hold, so I'm just going to pick it up. I'm not really browsing the shelves. So yeah, I think I did that once. Well, in that new to me author vlog, which I've got a link below because I've referred to it like 3 times now. I did just go to the library, to that library. That's not my local library, but it's part of my county. And just kind of browse and look because I just wanted to see. And I did find quite a bit. But we have a lovely online catalog where you can see everything and search and put books on hold. So that's what I do majority of the time. Okay, so number 6. From what section of your library do you check out the majority of your books? YA, middle grade, adult, nonfiction, etc. Adult, Christian fiction, primarily. I've never checked out YA. I've never checked out a middle grade. Yeah. Nope, that's it. Okay, number 7. What is your favorite part of using your local library? Well, I think I've kind of already answered this. Getting the physical book to read and watching my progress move. But I am love that we have access to Libby and Hoopla and access to the neighboring counties library system as well, because they have quite a few books that we don't have in ours. So I've been able to find a lot of different options, and I love that. I love that. So yeah, I thought this was a different library tag, but that's okay. Because it's just fun just to talk about libraries and my newfound love for libraries. And when I say my newfound love, it's really, I am in love with the online options. Being able to like browse it and go in and look and get what I want. And I don't have to like browse the shelves, because I can just sit on the comfort of my couch and put on my phone and look for this book and look for this book and put it on, okay, I'm going to go pick that up when it's ready. And yeah. And audiobooks. I've discovered a new love for audiobooks, and really tandem reading an audiobook with a physical book and just reading whichever format that I'm able to when I have the time to read. Yeah. So that is the Library Lovers book tag. And am I a library lover? Yes, in a way I think I am. Other ways, maybe not so much, because I also really enjoy owning books, obviously. But maybe as my love for the library grows, or as my use of the library grows, I won't be buying as many books. I say as I just filmed a book haul video. Oh well. I'm not going to tag anybody in this video, but if you want to do this tag, the questions will be in the description below, and please tag me in the video. I would love to watch your answers and just chat about libraries. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video today, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.